Alright, welcome back, children over 30. Today we're reviewing the motherfucking K2 Midtown. Yeah. So I should probably start off by mentioning that me owning these makes me a hypocrite. In one of my other videos I was talking about how, even if you wanted like a power blading setup, the front street or the unnatural would be clearly the better option. And I still believe that to be true. What happened was I had sold my solos and I had the money and I was all ready to get front streets, and I think Roller Warehouse had a sale and they were like $110 for the boots or something like that. And then I saw some pictures of the 2017 front streets and I was like, well, fuck, like that's exactly what I want. I mean, it's like the old style, and it doesn't have the extra strap thing at the top, and it looks way better. I mean, the 16 front streets look kind of weird with that reddish, whatever the hell, and then the teal on them too. My thought was, I have money for skates now. I'm going to have money for skates then because tax returns. So I might as well just get something different. And these were just so fucking stylish. Like I couldn't pass them up. Ever since I got them, they've been all over my Instagram. So anyways, usually on skates, I like to take, like a good couple months before I give a rundown on them. And I haven't had these for that long, but I need to get this show on the road so that I can finish reviewing the lower part of what you see, which is the Kaiser Arrows and the undercover wheels. So, again, aesthetically, I already mentioned that they are super fucking stylish. These are probably the best looking skates out there, in my opinion. The Velcro strap at the top, this is the second pair I've had that just had the Velcro strap at the top, and it works a lot better than you'd think it would. With the way that I have it laced up, I don't actually lace these up past about right here. And I can't get a super, super, super tight fit on them. But I don't really want that. What I like is like a nice, secure feeling, but then, if you want to kind of flex to the side a little bit, like you got some room to do so, you're not absolutely locked straight up and down. And if you lace these all the way up to the top and do the cuff pretty tight, like it will lock you straight down. And the K2 lean back is like a real thing. When I first put these on, that's how I did it. I laced them all the way up to the top, and then, I messed with the strap a little bit. I tried it a little bit tighter, a little bit looser, and man, like it's just weird trying to skate leaning that far back. Like it doesn't feel good. So I dropped the laces 2 holes off the top, and ever since then, like it's just been perfect. Like I have the perfect amount of flex. I have the perfect amount of security, whatever. I have a lot of front and back flex because there's not the laces holding the tongue in place, so there's a little bit of play in that. It's just nice. It's the perfect enclosure for the skate. Really, it truly is. One criticism I have though is the boot, like up here at the top. I don't know if the plastic extends that far or not, but man, it feels like it does. It would be kind of cool if they widened it out a little bit and then made it a little bit more malleable, because then you could really get in on the laces and get a super tight fit on the top of your foot, which is what you really want. I mean, especially with a soft boot, like that's kind of the idea. The plastic that they have on the inside of the liner, from what I can tell, just kind of feeling around, pretty much goes all over except the toe box. It doesn't feel super, super rigid there, which is nice, for people that have wider feet and stuff. I didn't think I had wide feet until I got into skating, and then I figured out that everybody else's feet were just tiny and sliver-like and weird, and they could all skate USDs and I couldn't. So one more thing I want to address in this general region of the skate is K2 has this thing where the cuff goes down inside the sole plate base thing. I don't know exactly what you would call it. It's not just like it, slides down in there. Like if you look at the back, the cuff kind of bends in a little bit at the bottom there where it secures. And to my knowledge, they're the only company that does this. And it's the only skate that I've had this problem with. But man, on the inside right here, like right around in this general region, which is right around where my ankle bone is. Dude, it sucks. It rubs all the time. I heated this up with a heat gun twice, maybe 3 times, and tried to bend it out a little bit, but this is like a sturdy ass piece of plastic, man. However they engineered this, it was engineered not to flex under any circumstances. Like, you can bend it, you know, and heat it up and do whatever you want, and it's just gonna pretty much pop back to where it is. It did get a little bit better, and they make these little neoprene ankle sock things that I guess people use when they have this problem or to break in new skates or something. And those helped, you know, a little bit, and then the bending helped a little bit. But after a couple hours of, you know, trying to wizard around and stuff, you can kind of feel it. So that sucks. And it also kind of puts a kink in my master plans, because again, like, I want the 2017 front streets, and I know that they said they completely redesigned this part of it, but I don't know if that includes like widening it in the back, or if they're just talking about making the sole come out all the way to the end, because you can see it really doesn't on this one, and then the backslide plate thing that they have. And I think this is probably a little bit wider on them too. Getting there to the sole space thing. The lack of a backslide groove and a big wheel setup is kind of like a so what. You can pull porn stars in these pretty nicely, just because your back foot kind of drags on those anyway. Depending on how you do them. How I do them, my back foot just kind of drags. And I always feel bad because this little white part gets dirty, and like, again, these skates are just so fucking sexy. I cringe every time they get a mark on them, which is probably lame on my behalf, because they're tools, right? But yeah, they porn star fine. The soles are kind of anomalous. First of all, I like the small size on them. I mean, they could be a little bit bigger and it wouldn't bother me. They're bigger on my TRS. Generally, I'm finding I don't like sole plates any bigger than like a TRS one, because it just fucks with the way that your foot generally operates. But the plastic on them, man, it's weird. Like, on the practice rail that I have outside, it's noticeably slower than my TRS. Like, I can Macchio across the whole fucking thing in my TRS easy, and these, like, not without some wax on them. But when I take them to a skate park, and all those rails that are clogged with whatever the hell moms are buying candles made out of these days, they just slide like a motherfucker. Like, it's crazy. I mean, you can roll up to them, like, not really going that fast, and then, like, once you get your foot on that grind, it seems like you go faster. It's crazy. Part of that might be the Kaiser frames on this. There's a couple of reasons why I didn't use the stock frame. I'm going to get to that here in a second. But before that, the liner, despite the plastic in it, is pretty good. I like it. I don't like it as much as like my blank liners, but it's pretty close, man. The footbed, it's not the best. You can probably get something better at like a Walgreens or something like that, to be honest. And I wish that they had a heel shock in these. I know in the Uptown they do, and I think most of the aggressive models do, but they didn't put one in this, and it'd be nice. There's a couple times when I came away fakey from something, and like, you kind of feel that sharp pain right around your ankle bones. That shit sucks. So I think if they're going to continue selling these to 30-year-olds, they should probably put a shock absorber in there. All right, so here's the stock frames. I've only rolled around in these for a little while. I mean, rolling around on some ABEC 5s in a plastic frame is kind of a bummer when you're used to at least 7s in an aluminum frame. But I wanted to check them out because these are 6-way rockerable. In theory, that would allow you to achieve the coveted natural rocker that everybody at Skating Wizards is enjoying so much, and all of us who can't afford them are so bummed out about. Anyway, ironically, you can't get these natural rockered, and I'm going to do another video about rockering today, actually. I'm doing my master's right now, and I just have to get out like a bunch of videos when I can, because otherwise I don't have time. I do like the fact that they are rockerable. I think that could be modified to be a little bit better in certain ways. Again, I'll get to that in the other video. On these frames though, they have this little square hole that you probably can't see on one side, and then they have the Allen key on the other side. Why they opted to put the Allen key on the outside where you're going to be like doing machios and shit, I have no idea. You can easily flip them around to the other side, like, you know, that's not too bad, but it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like it's like they want people to just trash these frames in like a day, because that's what'll happen. I mean, there's no like outer wall sticking out past the bolts or anything. Like they're right there. So if you're gonna grind on anything, just make sure it's really nice metal if you're gonna do it in these, and flip the axle bolts around, because otherwise you're gonna be screwed. You're not gonna be able to get your wheels out, and if you can't get your wheels out, you can't get your frames off. And then what the hell are you gonna do? The wheels on these came with 80 millimeters. I think they're 84A, something like that. It got a nice round kind of profile on them. K2 wheels are kind of notoriously shitty. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing if it keeps the cost of their skates down, because most people have a wheel that they're going to prefer anyway, or, you know, something they're already on that they're just going to want to throw in there. It would be nice if they could come out with something comparable to like the rollerblade hydrogen wheel, but, you know, that would take a lot of R&D and just money in general to make happen. So it's not a huge deal in my opinion. So yeah, that's it for these stylish motherfuckers. Again, I'm going to be dropping about 3 videos today, getting them in when I can, so check those out. See you later.